All right, so I'm not gonna lie. Modern Warfare 2 just had some pretty unfortunate news happen to this game. If you guys have been following what's been going on with Season 2, you've probably been wondering yourself if you're playing the game, when's it coming around? Unfortunately, last night we got some pretty stinky news on Twitter that kind of affects the release schedule and what we're going to be getting when it actually does come out. So apparently, Season 2 was supposed to be coming out February 1st. That was the alleged original release schedule, but apparently this has been delayed for about 2 weeks, and people are now saying that Season 2 has been delayed till February 15th. This has not been confirmed, but I'm starting to believe this at this point. If it were going to be coming out February 1st, I really think we would have seen something official by now. But you might say, why is Season 2 looking kind of stinky for Modern Warfare 2? Like, what's going on? I wanted to give you guys, like, not only what's happening with the schedule of it, but I want to talk about everything we know is coming with Season 2 and sort of talk about why I think it presents a little bit of an issue. Now, to be clear, for the most part, Modern Warfare 2 has made very good decisions in regards to its content. Again, it had a pretty smooth launch, all things considered. Season 1, according to some people, was slightly underwhelming. Maybe it could have had a little bit more on the MP side. Those kinds of players felt like they got rugged a little bit, but, Warzone 2 and DMZ did get a healthy amount of updates throughout that period. But with Season 2, from what we know and what we do have confirmed is coming, it's looking a little bit even more underwhelming than Season 1, which is worrying for a couple of reasons I'm going to get into, and some aren't so obvious, but let's start with what's coming with MP. So with the entirety of Season 2, I think we're going to see two new MP maps, and I think one of them is confirmed already. You guys may have seen this, is Shipment from World at War. This was also released in Vanguard last year, although I think I only played the map like once or twice total, and I don't remember particularly liking it a whole lot, so I hope it plays a lot better in Season 2 in Modern Warfare. But to be honest, like, it's cool getting classic maps like this occasionally. Everybody loves Castle, but with Season 1 already, we got Shoot House and Shipment. These are maps that we had in Modern Warfare 2019 and that we've already seen in previous Call of Duty games. And so, Castle, we've already seen in World at War. It kind of worries me that I don't actually think we're going to see very many, if at all, like brand new maps. I think right now they're sort of on the wave of remastering just old ones, which is kind of what they're doing for the second year of this game, apparently. So I don't know why they're doing it with these mid seasons. I genuinely don't know if we're going to see like any brand new Modern Warfare 2 original maps at this point. But I think two maps for MP in Season 2, like throughout the entirety, is what we're going to expect map-wise. Now, the thing that I find worrying is in regards to like, we haven't heard anything official whether it's been delayed or if we're getting it on time. And just the fact that there has been no word makes me a little bit more concerned because, we've been around the block enough times now where if something in like in-game content gets delayed for any reason whatsoever, it's not a good sign. Like, that's never a good thing that's happening. And this becomes even more apparent when we consider what weapons are allegedly coming with Season 2. This is the crossbow, which is in the campaign, but obviously not in the multiplayer right now. And then also the Vepr 12 from Ghost, which, kind of makes sense and lines up with what they did last season where we got the Honey Badger. It was slightly reworked and, called a different name, but largely the same gun. But apparently these two weapons are going to be added in Season 2. Anything else we are entirely not sure of right now. Also, this has been floating around. I'm sure you guys have seen Ronin, the operator, is allegedly coming with the launch of Season 2, which makes sense. I think that's one we can, verifiably rely on happening, so that's cool. But also game modes, and this is a big one. I do think this might be the highlight of Season 2. This is the real, like, important piece to get right, in my opinion. Game mode-wise, I do believe they are adding gunfight and gun game for Season 2. That's what everything is suggested so far. Now, I do remember, however, there were leaks a couple of months ago that actually showcased Infected in this game. Like, it had fully functioning HUD, UI, everything. Like, apparently it worked, but we have not seen Infected nor heard any word about it. But, Infinity Ward knows how much everybody loves gunfight, so I'm sure to some degree that's a priority and that will be coming. But anything else in regards to gunfight or Infected, I cannot say for sure right now, but I would want these in the game as soon as possible. With the MW2 systems, I think they would play great, but I think gunfight is the one we'll see probably before anything else. I should also mention a proper ranked play is coming to the game. From what Infinity Ward have stated, we don't know if it's like exactly in Season 2 or anything. There is currently like a CDL playlist that is basically the closest thing you can get, but a proper ranked playlist or an entire fully fledged mode of that, I hope comes in Season 2, but again, no official word at the moment, which is a little bit concerning, but it is what it is. Now this all sounds good, but what's the problem, you might be asking? Like why is this, stinky for Modern Warfare 2? As far as MP goes, unless there are some other surprises that we don't understand or haven't seen yet, besides weapon tuning that I'm sure is also going to come season 2, as far as like actual content, that really seems to be the full extent of it, to be honest. Like everything else update-wise is going to be most likely for DMZ or for Warzone 2, which, those games to some degree are in dire need of updates, so like I get it, but that is kind of where the problem with this entire situation lies. Oh, and I also totally forgot to mention that Modern Warfare 2 is, of course, getting another raid for Season 2. I mean, to be fair, the one in Season 1 was really fun if you guys never played. It's actually really good, and I'm sure the one in Season 2 is going to be excellent as well, but it's kind of indicative of the problem where, a lot of players, whether, you primarily enjoy Warzone or multiplayer, everybody kind of feels like they're getting rugged because it doesn't feel like any one mode in particular is getting a lot of, like, attention. It just seems that Infinity Ward is so spread all over the place in terms of trying to keep all of these different working components of their game updated. It's a double-edged sword because while we do have all of these modes and experiences, it's like there's so much to play for everybody to enjoy, and every single piece of this game is a living, breathing mode. I think that's a good idea on paper, but I kind of do empathize with, the fact that to some degree, it feels like multiplayer is getting less and less content as time goes on. That may not necessarily be the case, but I think another factor is what is called the hungry player theory. This is essentially the idea that as we go on through Modern Warfare 2's life cycle, every season is going to feel like it has less and less content. Not because it does exactly, but because we get better at consuming that content. Let me use the raid as an example. If you played it during Season 1, like figuring out how the contracts work and even getting into the raid and how they work and just in terms of functionality was a little bit difficult for some players to understand at first. But, for the most part, people get how like the contracts and how you even, access the raids and everything now. So people are more efficient at that, meaning we are now going to chew through content more efficiently as time goes on, making it feel like there's less and less content every single season. Like, whenever Season 2 does actually release, whether it's February 1st or the 15th, it may not necessarily have less content than Season 1 did, but I guarantee you people are going to feel like it does. And once again, to be completely fair, the amount of content that we're, projected to get for Season 2, it's not nothing, right? Like, it's not like a minuscule amount of stuff. Maybe it's not as much as you wanted, or at least allegedly right now, but it isn't like we're receiving nothing. It's more than Halo Infinite got for its first couple months. So to put it into perspective, things could be a lot worse. But again, I do get it where it's like, what is going on with all of these moving components at once, where it feels like if you try to make everyone happy, then you end up making nobody happy. Like the multiplayer fans feel like they're getting scammed. Warzone 2 fans kind of feel like they're scammed as well. DMZ lovers are kind of going through it at the moment too. It's like no one component of the game is in like an optimal state, and everything is in like a functional and working state. Just nothing really has ascended into greatness at the moment. And then my other major issue is the way that content is actually distributed, or more like drip fed in Modern Warfare 2, where, I mean, it's not just this game, COD's been doing this for the past couple of years where, content comes out at a staggered pace. So we'll get a one map, and then 2 weeks later we'll get another map, stuff like that. It's like this kind of like drip feeding of content where I get it. I understand that Modern Warfare 2 is like algorithmically optimized for player retention in the way that content's distributed, and you could even get into the matchmaking. That's an entirely different video on its own, but you get what I mean. But I think the downside is that like your content to some extent like doesn't slap as hard. You know what I mean? Like, when we would, I'm not advocating for paid DLC, but think about when we used to pay for DLC map packs back in the day, when you would get 4 brand new multiplayer maps and a zombies map. It's like this giant heap of content that you would get to jump into all at once, and yeah, maybe you wouldn't get anything for like months afterwards, and that did kind of suck. Like, I'm not saying it's necessarily a better system, it's just different, but I understand that Modern Warfare 2 again is literally optimized for player retention. That, and classically 2 modes in Call of Duty would be actively updated, multiplayer and zombies, or whatever their co-op mode is, and then but apparently with Modern Warfare 2 this year, it's like MP has to be updated, Warzone 2, DMZ, raids, Spec Ops. It's like they're making content for essentially 5 or 6 different games at once, so the resources are going to to be spread a lot more thin across the board. And I think that is the biggest issue that Modern Warfare 2 is currently facing with not only Season 2, but the current model that it's implementing at the moment. Because as much as I hate to say it, not everybody enjoys the entire game of Modern Warfare 2. So, you know, some people only play DMZ, some people only play Warzone, most people only play MP. And it's like, you know, there is a lot of crossover, but I feel like not as much as some people might imagine. And this is really the core of the issue. When you try to broaden yourself to appeal to everybody, if you go too far with that, you end up appealing to literally nobody, because the thing that you did so special before, you're not doing as well at the moment, right? Like, you cannot appeal to everybody without alienating the people that really enjoy one specific kind of niche and mode. And I hope Modern Warfare 2 is able to rectify this somehow, but with all of these, you know, basically 5 different games being developed at the same time, it's kind of impossible, to be honest. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I just want to let you guys know about what's happening with Season 2 and everything. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts down below. Subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.